Guys, everything is red. Stocks are getting crushed right now. We'll take a look at all the charts, all of the red, all of the chaos. But Bitcoin is holding up pretty strong, comparatively speaking, for now. Keyword for now. We're going to take a look at that. We're going to take a look at where Bitcoin could possibly go, what could possibly happen. But for that, I think we're going to have to discuss Trump's Mar-A-Lago agreements. Basically, I think Trump's endgame. We're going to unpack that all right now. Let's get into it, because I think you need to know this in order to really understand what's going on, get a good grip of things. Okay, Trump's new tariffs have rocked global markets, creating massive uncertainty and volatility. Stocks are down sharply. Inflation concerns are rising, and investors everywhere are nervous. But what if this chaos isn't accidental? What if it's part of Trump's bigger strategy? Okay, the Mar-A-Lago agreements. Behind these tariffs lies Trump's true goal: to force major economies like China, the EU, and others to the negotiating table. Insiders call this plan the Mar-A-Lago agreements, referencing Trump's Florida resort where these negotiations might happen. His advisors, some of who openly reject mainstream economic thinking, believe tariffs are key to re-industrializing America. Yesterday, I talked a little bit of his advisors and their pedigree. Their idea: disrupt global trade temporarily, then negotiate a new economic order that boosts American manufacturing, balances trade deficits, and potentially reshapes global currency dynamics. Okay, think of it as Trump's attempt to create a modern-day Bretton Woods or neoliberal style economic shift, but rooted firmly in economic nationalism and industrial revival. If successful, these agreements could change global trade rules, reshape economic alliances, and even influence monetary policy worldwide. For crypto investors, this matters a lot. Why? Because Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies don't operate in isolation. They're deeply impacted by global economic trends. Here's how the scenario could affect crypto in the short, medium, and long term. All right, this is the bullish scenario. We're going to go over the short, medium, and long. The short: increased global uncertainty typically boosts safe havens assets like gold and increasingly Bitcoin. Expect Bitcoin's price stability or growth if investors seek refuge from traditional market volatility. Medium term: in 6 months, if Trump's negotiations begin showing progress, investor confidence could return strongly. A positive economic outlook might revive investor sentiment, broadly shifting Bitcoin and crypto markets significantly. Long term: 12 months out, a successful outcome, establishing a new global economic order that recognizes digital assets, could spark major institutional adoption and retail enthusiasm. This scenario could realistically fuel another powerful, possibly parabolic crypto bull run. And this is the bearish scenarios, short, medium, and long term. Okay, short, 3 months out. Immediate disruption from tariffs might briefly dampen investor appetite for risk assets, including crypto, causing short-term price fluctuations and volatility. Medium term: 6 months. If negotiations stall, escalating global trade conflicts could trigger recession fears, pushing investors towards traditional safety, gold, cash, hurting crypto investment flows temporarily. And long-term: 12 months. Should negotiations collapse entirely, creating sustained global instability, crypto adoption could slow. Regulatory backlash or deep economic downturn might discourage institutional involvement and hold back crypto market growth. My personal take: personally, I remain optimistic. Crypto's borderless nature makes its eventual widespread adoption inevitable. I believe Trump's aggressive strategy, risky as it seems, might be bold enough to succeed. If it does, it could dramatically accelerate crypto adoption, potentially setting the stage for another major bullish wave in Bitcoin and crypto overall. But remember, these are uncertain times. Be patient, manage your risk carefully, and stay informed. Obviously, going forward, closely monitor global market reactions to tariff and negotiations, economic indicators like manufacturing growth and inflation, signs of crypto integration into potential agreements or regulations. I'll keep tracking these developments closely, so stay tuned to navigate crypto markets wisely as this unprecedented scenario unfolds. And what a time it is. Let's take a look at what's going on. First, Bitcoin holding up at 83,184. Wow, the rest, everything, just look at this. Oh, a little move up by the dollar. Okay, but still, look at this drop. Massive, just the last couple of days, massive drop, big drop. Dow Jones as well continues dropping right now. 2 gaps here, another gap here. NASDAQ, look at that, continue dropping. The S&P 500, 2 gaps, gap here, continues dropping. Everything is dropping, guys. Look at this. Government bond yields, although they're moving it back up here. So they're buying bonds. There's a lot of fear. 10-year bond yields. Look at this gold. Gold also big drop. What's up with that, huh? Interesting, right? Gold usually a safe haven. Everything is just dropping, guys. Everything is just dropping. And Bitcoin is holding up relatively strong for now at 83,000. What I said yesterday still stays, okay? We'd have to get really below 78,000 for us to get a chance at touching 75 or even 72. I still feel things are okay. It might be bumpy for the next couple of weeks to a month, and still until people until the sentiment changes, people start seeing things for what it is. Maybe some new data comes out. Maybe there's even a rate cut. I know that they're pushing for a rate cut. Fear and greed index is at 25 currently, right? Pretty interesting. Nothing really has changed as far as my analysis on Bitcoin, right? We really have today, for example, we really have to get above 85,800. I don't know if that's going to happen considering everything else. It is interconnected now. I am starting to see people starting to say that Bitcoin is breaking off, but I mean, I've heard that many times before. There are periods of where Bitcoin has a negative correlation with stocks, right? But generally it has a positive correlation, and generally a strong one, especially with the S&P and NASDAQ. A lot of people say Bitcoin acts like a NASDAQ stock, but remember, Bitcoin is like 15, 16 years old. I mean, it's super young. It's a teenager, okay? So it's going to be volatile. You know, it can be temperamental. 1 minute it's with the stocks, the next minute it's not with the stocks. You know, again, negative and positive correlations. Eventually, maybe Bitcoin might stand alone, right? But I mean, things are so interconnected that it's not completely alone. And again, looking at the chart just technical wise, right, this could be an inverse head and shoulders, which would mean that it wants to get back into the 90s if this plays out, right? Inverse and they don't always play out inverse head and shoulders the stuff, because there could be external shocks that come in and just break it, right? So we'll see. Right now 83,100. Let's see if it holds here. I would like to see it hold, you know, today's Friday, so Saturday and Sunday we won't see much. If we start seeing a drop Saturday, Sunday, be ready, because on Monday the next week we could probably come down here to 76. But I don't know. We'll see. People are maybe starting to look at Bitcoin now and be like, ooh, maybe we should just kind of stay in Bitcoin, right? And if that's the case, Bitcoin is a tide that lifts all boats, guys. Okay, so if Bitcoin goes up, it doesn't mean the altcoins are going to start dropping. Altcoins are gonna ride along with Bitcoin because it's crypto, guys. Okay, so keep all that stuff in mind. Don't get too scared right now. It's really not the time to be scared as we look at others still holding strong to right here, this area of support at 209 billion. Right, let's take a look at these Fantastic Four, because I think, you know, buying into these now, right, and just waiting, nibbling, DCAing for the next month or two. And after a few months, I think you're going to be extremely happy. By the end of the year, I think you're going to be extremely happy. I think there's going to be a lot more clarity, right? It could take a few months. It could take a couple of months. I mean, it could take a couple of weeks. I'm not sure as far as the timing is, right? But eventually, I think things will turn around. I think these plans will work. I see on my Twitter feed, right, that Trump's plan of creating this chaos is bringing other countries to the negotiating table. Some of them are staying strong, but for the most, like China imposes 34% tariffs on U.S. goods. But some of them are saying, okay, you know, let's talk. I don't want to get tariffed either, because again, remember, America is like the biggest buyer in the world, right? So who are these countries going to sell to, right? That's not, you know, they also don't want to destroy themselves either. Okay, let's see what happens. We have to wait for the dust clear and the dust to settle. Look at this guy, Arthur Hayes. Bitcoin could hit 500,000, 600,000, or a million this cycle. The central bankers will go too far. See, now some of them are people are betting that they're going to start turning on the money, the spigot, the money, and just flood the economy, the global economy with money. And if that is the case, Bitcoin is going to go on a massive parabolic bull run. Of course, there's going to be huge inflation. Of course, the dollar is going to be worth a lot less, right? So I had hope that you would be into the crypto markets to hold on to the value of what you got, because holding it and keeping it in dollars, you're gonna lose buying power, a lot of it. All right, but let's see how everything plays out. Right now it's just all speculation. That's all it is. It's all it ever really is, because we don't know what's going to happen with certainty tomorrow. Okay, all right, so cool. Miggles holding strong right here. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at my Fantastic Four because I think this is where you should be putting your bets on, right? Bitcoin and this. I mean, if you have capital that you want to preserve, Bitcoin. If you want to grow your capital, meme coins. These particular meme coins. There are others, right? I do like Ski Mask and I do like Benji, but I think these four are gonna really crush it. So Mr. Migos right here, 2 cents. Let's see if we hold to this area, 0.025 would be good. Toshi keeps dropping, right? Toshi keeps dropping, but Toshi is one that I'm really not worried about. I thought maybe we could do something like this. I thought it was a possibility because this happened here, all right? And what happened after that? Boom, all right? I mean, it needed a catalyst, a listing, a Coinbase listing, but I mean, it's Toshi just by its nature is just extremely volatile. So that it drops like that, it's just a great buying opportunity. Eventually, it doesn't take long for it to just pump, boom, really hard in a week, and it's back up here, right? What took months, weeks to come down, it could get back in about a week, guys. All right. Keyboard Cat holding on right here. Doesn't seem like it wants to come down here, but if the rest of the market keeps dropping, it will also drop, guys. I would be nibbling and kind of waiting. Dogging Me, same thing. All right, I think they're all going to be really again, $1 billion plus market cap meme coins, guys, on the Base Network, because Base Network is going to kill it for all the reasons that I've mentioned pretty much in every video or any time that I talk about Base. All right, maybe they could come. Maybe Dogging Me could come down to 3040. Right now it's at 3063. But let's see. I think right now it's trying to hold on strong. Everything is holding on. Bitcoin and crypto, man, they're holding on for now. Let's see if that continues. All right, let's see if that continues. Hopefully, I provided a little bit of clarity to what's going on with the whole Trump endgame. All right, the Mar-A-Lago agreements. Let's see if we can get there. Either way, I think Bitcoin and crypto, because it is borderless, like I mentioned, they're gonna be fine. All right, but we don't want to see the world burn. We want to see everything. We want to see a lot of money in the system, right? We want to see people feeling rich because it finds its way into crypto, and it can only help. It can only make it stronger, right? It can make those run-ups parabolic and amazing. If Bitcoin goes to $500 million. $500,000 per Bitcoin this cycle by the end of the year, guys. What do you think those meme coins are gonna look like? They will easily be in the 5 billion or 10 billion area, because everything else is gonna rise significantly, and those things are gonna outperform Bitcoin, guys. We'll leave it there. If you can, please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment. I'm trying to grow this channel. All that stuff really does help. All that said, have yourselves a great weekend. I will see you guys Monday. Have a good one. Peace.